Hey guys, my name is Ben. I'm gonna be your speaker tonight. And this whole thing started when Andre came into my office one day and he said to me, "Hey man, do you want to speak at YAYA?" And I said, yeah, of course. And he said, "Thanks, see ya." And so my mind started going crazy about what I could speak about. There's a lot going on around us. North Korea and South Korea are best mates now. Avengers came out. I don't know what to think about it. Sports. There's always some kind of sports going on, I guess. But when in doubt, ask Google. Of course, Google does not always have the right answers, and this time was a clear example. Google has no clue what YAYA is. I think it needs to know what YAYA is. And so I went to YouTube, my second favorite app next to the Bible app, and flipping YouTube ads. No one cares, guys. No one cares. So I had to do the search myself. How sword is made? That sounds interesting. Maybe. Anyway, let's check out how to draw. I'm kind of an artist, so I guess, but not as boring. How sword is made? That keeps coming up. Maybe you should have a look. Maybe it's a sign. How to make a sword. And this is quite interesting. I found out that there are 6 steps in making a sword. It begins with a collection of iron ore material from the mountainside. They just look like lumps of rocks that you would find anywhere else, except that they've got a lot of iron content in them. You throw these lumps of rocks into the furnace, which is heating at a crazy high temperature. And because iron is a heavier element, it sinks down to the bottom as it heats up, and the rest of the crap that you don't need goes up to the top. So fire is a good way of differentiating between what's useful and what's not useful. Now what is left at the bottom is the good stuff that you can use to now make a sword. Now straight after that furnace, the steel is taken out and put into another fire and heated up until it becomes red hot. And as though there wasn't enough, the blacksmith starts hammering it because that is the only way that he can shape iron. And you can actually tell how good the quality of the steel is by the kind of sparks it produces. In fact, the only way to find out the quality of the steel is by finding out what kind of spark it produces under high temperature. This process repeats multiple times, back into the fire and back into the hammering board again and over again until the blacksmith is happy with the shape it's starting to take. Now it's getting there. It's still a little rough around the edges. It's still too brittle, which means it's gonna break easily. Even though it's strong, it has no flexibility, it has no durability. And the only way to make this less brittle and more flexible is by putting it in water and wrapping an insulated material around it. And it takes a long time for the insulating to do its work, and there's no way to hurry this. You just have to keep it there. Once that is done, it is taken out, and the blacksmith now starts to work on the edges, making it sharp as well as adding engraving along the way. Now at this point, the sword is starting to be very cool, but it's still not done because it's still very weak. And then after that, as though it was not enough, it's thrown back into the fire again. And this is in very high temperature, and then straight away it is thrown into the water and subjected to extreme conditions in a very short amount of time. This ensures that the metal is strong and sturdy, able to withstand any conditions. It's not the end yet. It's taken out and put into the fire again. This is the last process, and the sword is now taken out of the fire into the water and allowed to cool very slowly. From then on, the blacksmith begins to add the finishing touches to the sword, cleaning up the edges, adding more design, adding more detail, adding the handle, the hilt, so that it now becomes a complete sword ready to be used. And there you have it, the story of the sword. What was once a lump of rock on the hillside, now a beautiful sword that can be used for great things.